be upset.
Hey, folks! Welcome back to the Dice Tower Daily Chat. I'm Mark, and I'm here with Roy. He's a surprise guest because my guest had to basically pick a different day. So
what? I wasn't your first pick.
You were the runner-up, Roy.
I'm about to say, this feels so weird. Like, I don't have the program up to actually be running this.
I know, right?
Like, I would say I'm not even going to look at chat, but that's a lie.
You're going to look at chat. You got to look at chat.
I mean,
absolutely.
Chat's amazing, and everybody who shows up for these,
indeed,
amazing, beautiful people.
Yeah, folks, thanks so much for being here. We always appreciate it very much. So, let's start with your major news, Roy. Tell us your major news.
So I promised Tom that I was going to keep this low key because I don't know. I love like everything about the Dice Tower, but I don't want to use like the Dice Tower to shill my own stuff.
No, but this is super exciting. Come on, man.
But a newsletter went out from a major publisher, Gray Fox Games, announcing that I have a game coming out called Last Light. This is a fast-paced 4X game, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to shill too much, but if people have questions...
Yeah, for sure.
And everybody's talking about the Roy Closet.
I missed the Roy Closet. I have to agree with everybody. It was definitely cozy somehow. You know? But no, I mean, you're going to be doing a bunch of demos of this game for Gen Con, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I set up everything with the Gray Fox team. They're running demos for the game at Gen Con. I'm going to be running all the different demos. We're going to have like one on Thursday, one on Friday. But all weekend, I'm going to have like 1 million of the demos. So if you check out the Gen Con online, because of course, actual Gen Con's not happening.
Right.
But Gen Con online, if you want to get a chance to play it, I'm super stoked about this. Because, I mean, I already work in the industry. Like, I don't need to make a board game. So if I'm going to make a board game, it's going to be straight up legit, you know. I'm going to make it the best thing I can. I'm not going to stop until it's, like, amazing and perfect. So I'm super excited. I've been working on this for, like, 2.5 years.
Right, long. And you've been telling me the whole time, I remember. It's been awesome.
Like, Mark's heard so many earfuls about this game and the different steps that it's in.
Yep.
Back when it was just being designed and play tested, all the way to pitching the game to different publishers, and then getting it signed with a publisher, and then freaking out about that. So thanks so much for your support along all that. It's always nice to have people to vent and talk to about different things that are going on currently.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Dude,
I'm so excited to show people.
I'm so excited for you. This is amazing. So, real quick though, it's a real-time game. It's a 4X, right?
It's not real time.
Oh,
so it is a game with simultaneous actions.
Right, simultaneous actions.
So there's no actual like
downtime.
Stressing out. That's one of the things about games is like you stress out in a real-time game about what am I going to do? I got to do this fast.
True.
There's nothing about trying to do something fast. The game is like engineered from the ground up to basically let everybody take their turns at the same time.
Which is awesome.
So it's a game that it's a 4X game set in space right before the heat death of the universe. You're all trying to gather light. And basically, you're all playing cards, you all are choosing actions, and you're doing them at the same time. And it feels like you're playing 4 hours worth of gameplay, but it only takes like 1 hour to play. It's always your turn. And I don't know. It's got a unique, like, rotating board and 3D planets, and I'm really excited to show the world what's going on with this thing.
I'm super excited, too. And I still feel like, and I realize there's a difference between simultaneous and real-time, but it feels like everything's happening all the time, so that's what I mean by real-time. So,
for sure.
You know.
But, yeah, real-time for some people, that's like a...
That's the high pressure, I get it.
Like, turn off. So this is not, like, any of that. And that's the cool thing about it is... You're all strategically taking and doing what you want to do and planning that stuff out, but you're doing it at the same time. So you have to kind of be like, okay, where are they going? What's going on here? And it makes it super interesting and super fun. I'm excited to show people more. And if you want to know more about it, definitely check out the Gen Con games, and you can actually play the game with me.
Yes.
I'm super stoked that Gray Fox Games is putting it out because... Sean and Josh and Lance and everybody is going to make sure this game is looking amazing, and I'm super excited about the manufacturing of this and when the game actually gets to come out. I'm super stoked.
I'm excited for you. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait, man. So what else have you been up to? I mean, what have you been playing? What's the thing you're most excited about that you played most recently?
I can't talk about it.
Okay, the one you can talk about then.
No, I think I could talk a little bit about it, but there's a couple games that I've played recently that we're not allowed to give opinions on because there's this whole thing in the industry right now about like, here's the game. You can say you've played it or an overview, but you can't do a review of the game until this date, which is super interesting. But we just finished the campaign for Pandemic Legacy Season 0.
Yes. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, make sure to check out Tom's overview for that. I'm sure there will be more information coming ridiculously soon about what we think about the game. But definitely check out Tom's overview.
Nice.
But yeah. Yes, and then also played Pendulum as well.
Oh.
So that was another one that has been pretty... How do you even talk about a game when you can't give your opinion of a game? I don't know how it works. But hey, I played those games. Those are games.
Those are games. Okay, how about
games.
How about any solo games? You been doing any solo stuff?
Oh man, I normally play Marvel Champions a lot solo, but I haven't played it super recently because I'm really waiting on the Hulk expansion to come out.
Oh yeah, I agree with that, no doubt.
I'm really excited about that. It'll be different because I don't think he's going to be good at thwarting at all. He's just going to be like massive amounts of damage, like super aggro. And it'll be interesting to see if he works solo at all because he might need other people to help him to actually make it work. But that's coming out, I think, like the beginning of next month. And I know Fantasy Flight's going to be doing a bunch of different announcements.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably going to be a lot of Marvel Champions announcement. X-Men, come on, X-Men!
Right.
We've been talking about doing like a mystery science theater thing.
Yes.
We're like, hey, let's just stream at the same time as the in-flight report and talk about what they're talking about.
I like this a lot. I like this idea. I so badly want to do some mystery science theater thing. Absolutely. All the time I want to do that.
But yeah, super crazy. Well, do we have any questions or anything?
No questions in chat yet.
What?
Mostly just saying hi. Hi, everybody. Roy is the guest. Yes, he is.
I'm the guest this time, which is super weird because I'm normally running Board Game Breakfast, running crowd surfing, running these,
I know. Well, this weekend I've been working on a game called Boss Battle and Lizard Wizard from Forbidden Games. So Lizard Wizard is kind of like the next evolution of like Railroad of their... Raccoon Tycoon game, So, but this one's set in a fantasy world with all magic and spells and mana and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm actually kind of excited about it. It's actually Kickstarter is on Tuesday, but the video will go up tomorrow. So, yeah. And Boss Battle, I'm in the middle of working on that one. It's literally you're fighting boss all the time in this game, which is kind of interesting. But it's a battle card game back and forth. So, yeah. Oh, we have a question from Gator Dave. All right. Okay, Roy, how long have you wanted to design a game? How long? Tell us.
Oh, goodness. So, I mean, if we're going to talk about just game design in general, I used to, back when I quit Magic, sold all of my Magic cards, bought some board games, and immediately thought that I could make board games. No, that's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
And I messed around. I made some card games. There's a ton of games I have designed. This is not my first design.
Right.
There's tons of games I have designed that are now in the trash can because that's how good designers do it. Is
Exactly.
They throw away the bad games and like cultivate and work on the things that really work well. But I remember like listening to the Plaid Hat podcast way back in the day, and like them talking about designing prototypes and making games just really made me super excited about game design. And then listening to Tom's Board Game University podcast where he's interviewing all these different designers that have created so many different amazing games. And the Board Game University podcast is still up there, even though a lot of the stuff is super old on there. I still recommend people going back and like listening to that because there's so many like legends in game design hobby that talk about how they started doing board game stuff and their thoughts on game design, and just stuff like that just makes me really passionate about game design. And I basically put apart game design for like a long time.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm going to do this board game media thing. And that went way better than the game design was going at the time. And I mean, I just kind of have always wanted to work on stuff in the back of my mind, you know.
Right.
And this design was almost, I mean, it's basically almost completely done before I even started my job at the Dice Tower. I already had publishers that were working to pick up the game
right
before I started and moved down to Miami. So it was like this whole whirlwind of like publishers trying to pick up my game, and I'm gonna go work with the Dice Tower, and it's just like all board games all the time.
It was amazing. I
don't know.
remember that was this amazing collision of everything all at once. It was awesome, right? So
yeah, and I've wanted to keep it super low key and super quiet and not talk about it until the time is right. And now it's kind of like we're probably like 6 months off from when it's going to actually be on Kickstarter and stuff like that. But I want to take this opportunity to get people excited about the game, to get a lot of opportunities to demo with people, you know, and be able to just show off the game and help build that up leading into it, just because it's a thing that I've been working on for a really long time, even though I haven't been talking about it.
Right.
But if you're paying attention, if you paid attention, you've seen, and it's funny because I had somebody say, I've heard about your game for a really long time, and I said, that's crazy because I try really hard not to talk about it. And they're like, oh no, it's not you who's talking about it, it's everybody else around you that you know.
Yes, it's so true. There's so many, it's fantastic. So the funny thing, I love that you actually made the plunge and put a design out there, because I mean, ever since I was a kid, I was doing silly designs, and I just never felt like I'm not going to show anybody this, you know. So I love that you jumped in and did it. It's great.
It's crazy because I don't think people out there realize how long the road from coming up with a concept, playtesting, blind playtesting, developing, pitching to publishers, then more development, and then figuring out manufacturing. Like this, the road to getting a published game is extremely long. So when a game like is on your game store shelf or actually gets to your table, like there has been years of back work that has happened to that game, and it started with somebody's idea for making a certain game. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, here's a good one for us. Favorite game that we like playing together?
Oh man, I feel like there's a lot of games we would really like to play together that we haven't yet.
True.
Like, I would love to play.
But there's one answer to this. Yeah, well, that we have played Zaya.
I want to play that with you more.
Yes, but that's the number one. That's the first one that comes to mind for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zaya would be great.
And then we played all the
Mark like a bajillion times to play Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea with me.
I know.
And it hasn't happened. And that is
it's sad. I know. It's my fault. It's my fault.
That's your fault.
It is totally my fault. But we played most of the Tiny Epic games together.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun with Quest.
Yes.
I remember sitting
and
together
Emerson.
and playing Quest with Emerson.
Yeah.
And we're both sitting there, we're like, man, these item meeples are so cool. And he's like, yeah, I really like how they turned out. And he's like, you know, I made those, right?
Made those, yeah. We're like, what?
Did you already know at that point?
I did. But still, your reaction was the best, though. It was awesome. Yeah, Emerson is the best, right? So those are definitely games. And I know that Twilight you've talked about multiple times, but I don't know if I'm down for a full day of that.
And that's the thing, is like it's hard to get these extremely long 4X games to table. I mean, it's worth it when you do and you never forget what happens, but apparently we're supposed to be like responsible adults or something and not play one single board game the entire day.
I know, right? What's that about?
I don't know. If only we didn't have responsibility.
I know. It's so bad. All right, so real quick, you already talked about it briefly, but we have a question. What is the average length of time for your game, Roy? And also, did you draw some influences from other games?
Oh, man. So, I mean, it is a actual 4X game, so it has exploring, expanding, exploiting, exterminating. So it follows a lot of the influences of like Masters of Orion and other 4X games that have come before. Of course, there's other Space 4X games, Eclipse and Twilight Imperium, all that stuff. I tried to make a game that would be set completely apart from those. The playtime, speaking of playtime, is normally an hour to like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And normally at 4 players, I played a game with 4 brand new players that lasted 1 hour.
Nice.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
People are like, how can you play an epic 4X game in 1 hour? It's because it's always your turn.
It's always your turn,
Like,
that's the best part. I love that
Like you're
so
basically
much.
getting like 4 hours worth of gameplay in 1 hour because it's always your turn, you know. So there's no real downtime, and it's just like, whose turn is it? It's your turn. Just do it.
Indeed. And it's going to be on Kickstarter. Is that true? Gator Dave's asking.
Yes, it'll be on Kickstarter at some point in 2021.
Nice. Oh, this is right up your alley here, Roy. What is your favorite 3D printed board game item and on board game items which you've printed?
My favorite?
Yes.
Man.
You've printed a ton of stuff at this point.
I know. It's probably still... I printed out some 3D dragons.
Yeah.
And painted them up really nice. There was this Lost Dragons Kickstarter campaign, and the guy who ran it has a whole... He's like the 3D printer DM, and he has a whole YouTube channel where he talks about 3D printing, and he really influenced me to get a 3D printer. And he ended up sending me the files for all these dragons, and I printed out several of them and painted them up all nice, and it's just really crazy, like the miniatures and the detail you can sometimes get from these 3D prints, especially when you spray prime them and then paint them up all nice. It's like, man, that looks like any other D&D miniature you could get from anywhere.
Right.
And when it's all painted up, you can just make it look amazing. And I just love, especially for D&D.
Oh, yeah.
Because normally if you're trying to get like a D&D miniature, you'll get like a little one guy. And it's like when you're running D&D games, you want to have a whole bunch of different guys. I also 3D printed up a whole bunch of little mud guys.
Yes, I have one of the mud guys. I love that guy. He's awesome.
I think it gave you like the rock golem.
Yes,
like
the rock golem.
So,
I've got him on my shelf in the other room. So, yeah, I love that. You know, that's funny. The prototypes that I get, so many 3D printed miniatures, but they almost always arrive broken. And I'm always having to fix them.
Yeah, it's not the most durable of materials overall.
Right.
It's definitely good for prototyping and having stuff that's like your own and that you like take care of. Sending it through the mail and trying to ship stuff, that's rough.
And there's some general questions about any like pictures or more info about your game. When can people find that stuff?
I know that Gray Fox is working a lot on illustrations and all the manufacturing details. There will be stuff soon. I'm sorry that it's just teasers, you know. I know people hate the teasers, but if you want more info or you want to actually see, I have a prototype I built from scratch and put it on Tabletop Simulator myself, and I'm going to be demoing it all throughout Gen Con Online, and I plan on every online convention trying to put some demos of it up so that way I can continue to show people the game, because I feel like once people play it, that's the real way to get people excited about it, you know.
Yeah. And then, you know, obviously doing all the 3D printing helped you design your game as well, right? With all the planets and so forth.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because it's this weird, like, it emulates a star system. So, like, there's this whole rotating thing. And I had these little clips that would clip onto the bottom of, like, bases and stuff like that. And I couldn't get exactly what I wanted. So I went into Tinkercad and, like, actually made, like, a little base that would clip on perfectly. I have, like, little planets and stuff. But I have, like, a thing that would clip on the bottom of the bases.
Yeah.
It's not the actual base that I use. But, and I actually made it myself and then 3D printed it out. And I think it'd be really cool if more designers or more people, publishers in general, would use 3D printing. I know, like you said, it's becoming more and more of a thing, but there's so many interesting concepts and ways you can make your prototypes work for you with 3D printing.
Yeah, for sure, man. I want a 3D printer so bad, but it's just, I don't have the time.
I know Brian Drake just got a resin 3D printer.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Those can make amazing 3D prints, but oh man, now you're talking about resin, and you got to wear like a gas mask, and it's the liquid and all the stuff, and you're working with crazy chemicals at that point.
You got to put it out in the garage, man. I'm not gonna have that in the house. No way. You know,
lots of ventilation.
Indeed. Well, here's a good one. So, Bonzos, how has your game design changed in the years since you joined the Dice Tower? And have you been playing hundreds of games each year to potentially learn from? How much has that really fed into what you've done?
Well, like I said, back when I first started, like I had finished doing Magic the Gathering and started playing board games, and I was like, I'm going to make a game design. That's not really how that works, you know. At this point, by the time I actually started designing Last Light, I'd played hundreds of games, you know, hundreds upon hundreds, and seen tons of mechanisms and knew exactly kind of what I wanted. Since I started working with the Dice Tower, it's really been just mostly development, There's been a few things that I play tested out, but it's crazy because the game has been done pretty much from a design standpoint for a couple years now almost. But there's been slight tweaks and adjustments on numbers and making different things happen and working to pitch to this publisher and pitch to that publisher and making things happen. And I'm really excited that Gray Fox has picked it up, and they're going to just run with it from here and make it look amazing. That's going to be their job, is to make it look extremely beautiful.
Yes, because that's one of the things you were highly seeking. You were like, I don't even care. I just want this to be made. I want it to look as good as I want it to look. I thought that was awesome. So,
yeah, I really felt like the gameplay was going to be awesome, but I also wanted, I'm such a big stickler for production value.
Yes.
And the way things, and I'm like, there was specific people that I wanted to work with because I knew that their production value would be off the charts.
Right.
So,
indeed. So this is right up your alley. Not so much mine, but how often do you paint minis, Roy, or me? You're awesome at painting minis, but I
painted your set of Adrenaline.
Yes, my Adrenaline figures are amazing. And, I have attempted to paint minis so many times, but I definitely don't have that skill set.
I feel like it's a skill set that can be grown upon and gotten better. Painting miniatures isn't just 100% just talent, It's something you can learn to do and you can get better at. But it does take time.
Yes.
It does take a lot of effort. I'm not a super fast painter at all. I really enjoy painting minis. Actually, my plan for tonight was to continue to paint more of my Marvel United stuff. But Mark Streed's like, I don't have a guest.
That's right. It was sad. I had a guest. I had 2 possible guests, but they had to reschedule. So
I painted up my Venom, and if you look at my social media, you can see the Venom I painted up. I've gotten Hulk mostly done, and I painted Captain America's shield because I'm just I started with Captain America's shield, but then I didn't paint the rest of Captain America. But yeah, if you look at my social media, you'll be able to see my different paintings and miniatures and stuff like that. I do it very sporadically. It's just for chilling out time and relaxing. And oh my goodness, Holly, Tom's daughter, has started painting miniatures, and she's doing an amazing job. I'm
that's
wow,
awesome.
She blows Vernon out of the water.
Wow.
I wish Vernon was here.
I do too. Yeah. That would be amazing.
But no, it's so awesome because she's really excited about it too. So it's really cool to see all the different paint jobs. And we're like, what? That's amazing. So it's cool to have someone in the Dice Tower studio who's painting stuff all the time and
excited so about games, it, right? Yeah, for sure.
So I got jealous because she was painting up Tom's copy of Marvel United, so I had to paint up my copy. And Mike's like, I'm going to pay her to paint up my copy too. Everybody can paint a copy of Marvel United.
I love it. So do you have any idea who's going to do the art for your game yet?
I know Gray Fox is working with people. I don't know specific names yet, so we'll have to figure that out.
Cool. All right.
But yeah, we're going to start slowly showing different things as time goes on. But hey, if you want to play it, hit me up.
Yes, indeed. Oh, this is so because I know the answer to this. So, Roy, did you work with a developer of your for your game with Gray Fox, or did you do all the development yourself?
Gray Fox is still Gray Fox has Josh, who's doing development for them.
Yes.
I actually had a lot of designers that I've showed this game to along the way, and I got some tips and suggestions from them. It's really cool because this industry is so helpful and amazing that there's so many different people that are willing to play your prototype and give you the different ideas of this or that. But I definitely worked with a whole bunch of different people. I don't know if I should name drop everybody because it would kind of
do it
interesting. But I know Emerson looked at the game.
Yes.
Gave me some different ideas. I worked with a lot of the guys from Plaid Hat as well.
For sure, for a while.
The game.
Right?
Yeah, and Jerry's played it. We were talking. Jerry was just on the show the other day.
Right. Yeah.
And somebody asked me once your game's done, will you show it to Jerry? And I'm just like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Jerry has played my game plenty of times. But no, it's been awesome with all the different people that have worked together. I mean, I've had plenty of Dice Tower contributors that have played the game with me as well. I know Crystal's played the game several times, and a whole bunch of different people that are involved with the Dice Tower have helped me play test along the way, which has been really fun because it feels like it feels like a community coming together to like make this thing happen. So it's been a lot of fun, and I'm definitely super thankful for all my playtesters along the way.
Yeah. And you've done, that's the amazing thing, is you've done so much of that too. Just on your own mostly even. So that had to be a lot of work too. And then trying to play it at conventions but not really show it.
I thought it was funny. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of pictures of people playtesting this game out there.
Yeah.
But that haven't been released to people, so it's been funny. I always love, like, people always made fun of me because like actual designers are like, you don't have any chill when it comes to designing prototypes, because my prototype is this crazy looking, like it looks like a science project basically.
It does.
With all these 3D planets and rotating board and all this craziness going on all over the place, and people come up and are like, what is this? Like, where can I buy this? And I'm like, this is a prototype. But yeah, I'm just playtesting this game, and I'm trying to like get everything worked out, and it's been really fun to see people along the way. But yeah, it's always crazy.
And what were some of your favorite or interesting mishaps along the way? Like, I know something happened to one of the prototypes.
Oh. Yeah, there was one year, the first year on the Dice Tower cruise, I was trying to take my prototype there and play it a little bit, but I accidentally left the board on like the little tram that for the little train thing, not train thing. It was like the shuttle van you get in, the shuttle to go to the actual cruise. So I didn't have a board, so I couldn't even playtest it during that convention. But I had to like make up lost time because I was trying to make a few little tweaks, and I'm like, oh man, I got to get more plays here and there.
Right.
It's been so cool to see so many different people that have had their hands and fingers on this thing, man.
For sure, absolutely. Well, what else is up, man? What else you been up to beyond just board gaming? Anything else fun?
Well, today was technically it's tomorrow, but we celebrated my daughter's 6-year-old birthday today.
Nice.
So that's been a ton of fun. So we've been playing lots of different HABA games as well, so that's been cool too.
That's cool. We're getting puppies in August. That's nice. That's what it's
like not a single puppy.
No,
but puppies.
2 puppies. One is my daughter's, and one is the like a family dog. So,
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's our oldest dog. We had to put to sleep, so it was just the timing worked out that it was like, oh hey, let's do that, and everybody's needs something like that to look forward to anyway. So,
did you see the dice animal for?
Yes. That's what I was going to go. It looks so good, right?
It's so amazing. Like, Tina's just so amazing at doing all these different dice animals and dice guys, and it's so cool to see all those happen. Tom, like, immediately put him as his Facebook profile and Facebook like banner thing or whatever.
Indeed.
Just like fluffy. So
and all the stuff from the
fuzzy
from the event, right? That the winners got all their dice characters and so forth.
Oh yeah,
those are amazing.
Oh yeah, that was super cool. During the Summer Spectacular, we ran like an auction, and I mean, Summer Spectacular happened because Dice Tower East, of course, couldn't happen. So we didn't want to do an online convention, but we did this whole like, we're going to make tons of media content for everybody to really enjoy, and we did an auction to help us out because I mean the fact that we weren't able to run Dice Tower East was a big deal. So the fact that we did Tina made up dice characters for the auction winners each day during the Summer Spectacular, and they turned out amazing because the winners got to like say a little bit about what they wanted for the dice characters. And the cool thing is like so many of our supporters like come back like to all of our events and come to so many things, so like we knew a lot of the people who actually had won these auctions because they are just such huge supporters of the Dice Tower. It was really cool to see them get their own dice characters. I remember back in the day, like when I was just a contributor, like and you were just a contributor, and like what it meant to have a dice person.
I was like so excited.
I will know I have made it in board game media if I ever have a dice guy.
Right. It was huge.
And that meant so much to me when Tom like messaged me. He's like, "Hey man, I made you a dice guy. Here it is." Like, I don't know. It was just ridiculous.
Blew me away. Yep.
I mean, you basically there was the 3 main guys.
Yep.
Then Manny and Suzanne had gotten some, and then like you got one.
Yep.
And then I was like shortly after that.
Yes, you were.
To be that early in the whole dice guy thing, I don't know. That's crazy. Like, I don't know. It shook my world.
I know. I loved it. I was blown away. I was like, no way. I was so excited. And then the first version of mine didn't have the hat. I'm like, Tom, we got to do the hat. He's like, oh yeah, we got to do the hat.
Because you had like running shoes, right?
Right, I had running shoes. Yeah. So yeah, that was really fun. Just that whole experience. It was
so crazy because like back then, just as a contributor, I never thought that I'd be like working at the Dice Tower and move down to Homestead, Florida with Tom Bassel and all his crazy hats.
Yeah, right? Oh, that's awesome. The other crazy thing about working on these previews for me is that I have so many prototypes at this moment that literally, if you could see over my monitor, floor to ceiling prototypes.
That's crazy.
I have got to start. And a lot of times I send them back to folks, but it's definitely, as time has gone on, my basement where I work has started to look like a 12-year-old's bedroom. It's just stuff everywhere. So I've got to start kind of clean this stuff up. But yeah, anyway.
Well, the good thing is if you ever want to make your own prototype, you have plenty of components to pick from.
This is true. Actually, I have a giant bag at this point of stuff from like last year. This is just this year's stuff. So yeah, it's pretty crazy indeed. And now we have Ella joining the preview team, and she just got her dice character as well. So
did we lose audio?
Did we lose audio? I can hear. No, I don't think so. Did you lose me?
Mark!
What? Let me see. I still have audio. Oh, no, I see audio. Is it your headphones?
Are you there?
I'm here. Yep, they can hear me. Yes, they can hear me.
I'm going to end it and try to start it back.
All right. We just lost Roy. He will be back. This is good. Yeah, have I plenty new games that I'm excited about. So, of all the previews that I've played, most recently the Night Cage is the one that I'm most excited about, probably. However, this one that I did this weekend for Forbidden Games, Lizard Wizard, is pretty good. So definitely worth checking out. The Kickstarter goes up on Tuesday. I don't get to play very many published games. I'm usually playing prototypes almost all the time. However, I did do a preview for a published game, which is a roll and move, super zany, crazy, and actually surprisingly had more fun than I thought I would. And my family, they loved it. It was definitely interesting. But it has that, I think I even say it in the video, it has this like Star Trek Fizbin feel, if you know what that is, from old episode of Star Trek, and they're like, the second card is turned up except on Tuesday. Yeah, it's got a bit of that zany back and forth to it for sure. Let's see if we can get Roy back here. I don't know. So that was pretty good. But yeah, I think straight up though, I think I've lost. Oh, he's not responding. Sorry, folks. We'll get him back as soon as we can. But yeah, that's not good. Anyway, so that's what I've been playing recently. Those were the top picks. I have another video that I'm working on called Boss Battles, which is pretty interesting. So look for that one too. There's some upcoming games that I'm not sure I can really talk about them yet. But yeah, I'm excited about. There's some big games coming up, and July is just jam-packed for previews. So, and we have some stuff from the OP that we're doing further published stuff as well. So that's going to be really interesting as well. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, lots of stuff. And like Corey is here in chat, and him and I played Lizard Wizard last night, and he destroyed me. Yes, but it was still fun. Absolutely. Yeah, Roy, I don't know. He's not back yet. Sorry, guys. Let's see. I'm pretty sure everybody could hear both of us, but he couldn't hear me anymore. I don't know. So, Yeah, I did not do well in Lizard Wizard. You only beat me by 12 points. That's not that many. Come on. It was like, I forget what the total was. I had like, you had 122 and I had 110. It was very close. Corey. Oh, and just wait till, and I can't properly say, can't pronounce things properly, apparently. Corey calls me out in this video, so you want to definitely keep an eye on that, because that's super fun. Yeah, he might be rebooting, so we'll keep an eye out for him here. Ooh, any recent video games? Let's see. Oh, yeah, so if you want to talk about recent video games, Kabuki, I've been, the latest season of Diablo, I've been playing off and on a little bit, but I was super excited to get Borderlands on my Nintendo Switch. So yeah, I'm all about that. That's one of my all-time favorite Twitch, first-person shooter type games. However, it's got some RPG elements to it. That's probably why I like it so much. But yeah, those are only two really video games I've been kind of sucked into recently, and not a ton. I just haven't done a ton of video gaming in a while, which is super sad. I miss it for sure. Oh yes, what kind of dogs? So we've historically had poodles, and we stuck with that, and actually talked to Corey a bit about different types of dogs, because Corey was a vet at one time, and we actually went with standard poodles this time. We've never had really big dogs per se. I'm excited because if you know, a big thing of what I've done to lose weight is I walk every day, like 8 miles pretty much every day, sometimes 10 or 12. So I'm excited to have a big dog that can go with me and actually hang that whole time. I'm going to get like saddlebags, make them carry everything. Absolutely, that's going to happen. So I'm pretty excited about that. Roy's texting me, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. Well, let me see if I can dial him back. All right, let's see if we get Roy back. If there's any chance. Poodles are smart dogs indeed. I'm excited. I'm really excited to have, like I said, dogs that can hang the whole time. Man, it will not dial Roy. No clue. So yeah, so that's the scoop on the dogs. Oh yeah, names. We already have names for the dogs. So my daughter's dog will be called Ahsoka from Star Wars, because we know Ashley Eckstein is a friend of ours. And it's one of Shelby's favorite characters on Star Wars of all time. For the other dog, the family dog, we're going to call her Alita from Alita Battle Angel. I just thought that was a cool name. So those are their names at this point. He deserted, and he's actually texting me. He said, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I see him in Skype. He's got a green light, and I dial him up, and nothing happens. Yeah, Diablo 2. Oh, yeah. I played all the Diablos. Yeah, he's been abducted, I think. He just abandoned me in my time of need. No, so I had a couple different guests lined up tonight, but the schedule's changed. So Roy was kind enough to jump in and help me out tonight. So. But there's going to have some fun surprises coming up for guests, so keep an eye out for more chats for sure. But yeah, let's see what else has been going on. Did you... Kabuki, yes. Did you like it, Kabuki? Did you like... I really like that movie quite a bit, actually. I don't even know the anime per se. I mean, I know it a little bit or whatever, or the... graphic novels too, maybe. Anyway, I really enjoyed the movie quite a bit. Sounds like Roy. Yeah, right, Corey? See? I should just dial Corey now and have him join in. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Roy at all. No idea. Let's see if he is there. Oh, there you are. There, finally.
I completely lost internet. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, see, I told you.
You can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I need to figure out my settings here
You do.
because Skype's being weird now.
Yeah, it's just because you're so hot and in demand. That's what it is.
But you can hear me fine, right?
Yep. Thumbs up.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, everybody.
You just abandoned me. That's how it goes.
I'm just gonna have to talk like this for now.
Oh, dude.
I don't know.
Wow. Is it your...
Listen, it's okay if everything messes up during your stream.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate it so much. It's just so nice of you, Roy.
Like, listen, I'm just glad this is not Board Game Breakfast. It's not crowdsourcing. It's not, God forbid, a preview video, you know?
Yeah. Yes, Bonzo, I definitely highly recommend Alita. Definitely check it out.
Which is that? The movie?
Yeah. So the thing with that is that's the name of one of our dogs. I was telling everybody that the new dogs that are coming. So one is named Ahsoka, the other's named Alita. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I love those
I
names.
actually really enjoy that movie.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It was so good. And I haven't checked out like the anime or the graphic novels. I don't know if it's both, but I want to for sure. So
I would love for that to have like a sequel.
yes, I would like that like now. Indeed. How movies? Have you been watching any movies lately?
Listen, so I'll level with you. I do board game media editing full time.
Full
I don't know
time.
if you've noticed.
I just
The Dice Tower.
yes,
we
it's
do
very
review
busy.
videos.
Yes, very busy.
Also, I try to design a game
Yep.
as well.
Just
and
a
the way
little-
I get away with that is by not doing anything else.
I have to admit that I haven't had time for movies either. I've just been so busy with previews, so which is good. I love doing them so much. So it's funny because now my game groups is my family, so that's a whole different way of gaming sometimes.
Oh, sure.
And I'm
I'm sure the different games you can actually get played, it changed drastically, right?
Drastically changed. And what's interesting is that I did a game called Safari Turbo. It's a roll and move, but it's like super zany, right? Mm-hmm. And my Shelby and Anna loved the game, and it is just super crazy all the things that are happening. And there's definitely a huge take that in that game, and all kinds of stuff like that. But it was just this wacky fun, right? And it wasn't like you had to really focus on what you were doing. It was just this.
Yeah.
It was just a fun time, and it made me think about, if I had taken that to my game group, they would have just laughed me out of the room, right? Probably. But yeah, so it was really. I'm like, there's games for everybody. It doesn't have to be a super strategic type of thing. And it just really, and I have to admit, I definitely had fun as well. So, and I haven't had that much fun with a roll and move game in a really long time. So,
yeah, it's crazy to think, like, people like definitely different styles of games. And I'm sure gamers are like, oh man, I want my games to have these super tough decisions and all that stuff. And I mean, I love all that stuff in games, but like, back when we first started playing games, or back when other things, I remember back in the day enjoying playing Flux and Talisman.
yes.
But I try to teach Talisman to my kids, and I can't do it anymore. I'm past that. I'm like, I don't even want to subject them to losing turns and all this other stuff. And
right.
I remember playing a game of Flux, and I found it hilarious because somebody won before another guy even got a turn.
Right.
And I'm like, that was hilarious. Now that sounds like the epitome of the worst thing ever. It's like that seems like a horrible game choice, or a way that a game could go. But someone didn't even get to play that game.
That's so true. But I remember when Batman Flux came out. I actually really liked that version of Flux. It was really fun. There was all kinds of different things that version did. And I haven't played it for a while now, but yeah, I actually thought that was a pretty decent version. And again, that's another, Flux in general is another game that the family loves, right? And if I have to play Flux or Uno, I'm going to probably play Flux. So
yeah, I think there's something to be said about those games where you can just kind of turn your brain off and do whatever and relax, I mean, people use games as an escape, and I just can't do it anymore, though.
Yeah,
It's just like,
there's definitely some of the, yeah, I mean, there's some roughness out there for sure, right? But that's the thing. People always ask me about the previews. How do you play some of those games? I'm like, well, I enjoy the whole creative process around it. So it's really not that the game is good or bad. It's just I enjoy creating something around that. It's just so fun.
Whatever Mark's like, I bet you if I get the right camera angle and the perfect lighting on this,
I do.
So good.
You would not believe how long I spend on that lighting and I want shadows and I want it to look dramatic, and I'll go back and film something 3 or 4 times.
You're like, how can I fit a green screen into this?
Yes, I always wonder that actually.
Back in the day, you used to do a lot more green screen stuff.
Yeah,
man.
I'm sad I don't get to do as much actually.
It's funny. We have an awesome group of ladies who's doing Favorite Game Friday here recently, who is going all out, and they're like dressing up, and like I don't know if you saw the last one, but it was campaign games, and she had made like this post-apocalyptic like scene, and she had all of her friends running around in post-apocalyptic outfits and all this stuff, and it harkened back to the day when you would make those extremely elaborate Favorite Game Friday clips with crazy graphics and
I put myself in the cockpit for Zaya.
Yeah. And you were like running around with the mechs for Mechs versus Minions, like at the same size as them and stuff like that. It harkened back to that, and every week I bring Tom and I'm like, look, this was a lot of work for a Favorite Game Friday clip. I love it. And like the week before, she had gone and done it was card games. So she actually had done morels or whatever with all the different mushrooms, and she had gone through in the forest and like found all the different mushrooms that matched the cards. And I'm just like, how long does that take? That is amazing.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh,
wow. We've definitely had so many amazing people on Favorite Game Friday, and I love like how it has brought people into board game media and into the hobby, and it's just like a cool thing that you can do super casual, or you can go as hardcore as you want,
Indeed. It's so true. And I feel like I should do one again sometime soon. The only time I get to do the green screen stuff is during my recap segments for, and I always do something at the end, and I always try to make it look like I'm totally oblivious to what's going on behind me. So those are really fun, but it's still not the same as the other stuff I was doing, It's actually a lot more challenging because I'm out on a trail somewhere, and how do I shoot something in a spot that actually I can make it look grounded? So I always have to mount the camera onto a tree or something so it's steady. It doesn't move, right? And then the wind will come up because I'll have it on a strap and a little handle, and then it'll like shift around. I'm like, no! And I'll have to redo that take.
Do you have to do like image stabilization as well? Or?
Yes, all the time.
That's rough.
It's a ton of work to do that in segment, and then to find the right piece to put in there. Because again, I always try to make it related to whatever I picked as my game of the week. So I try to make it somehow related, at least in some way. And then trying to find all those green screen segments for that is interesting, or make them myself, which I have done as well. But
I think it's hilarious that every week somebody's like, "Oh man, Mark's still lost in the woods."
I'd love that.
If you have one where you like actually find your way home,
that would be
home
right out the front door, right? That'd be hilarious. But now with the new dog,
like, that was the season finale.
The season finale, that would be awesome. Yeah, and then that would be good. So. When the dog gets older, we can mount the camera to the dog, and we'll do the walking segment that way. I think that'll be pretty fun. I'm totally up for that one. So
did I miss a lot of questions while I was gone? I'm sure everybody was.
No, we were talking about the dogs, and I'm trying to look and see if I missed anything for you.
I'm always interviewing other people, so normally people don't ask me as much.
Don't ask, same. Yeah.
Everybody's seen me a bajillion times. It's fine.
Right. But are you still playing any D&D? You were doing that for a while, right?
Oh, man. I wish I had time. I don't know. D&D is one of the best games ever.
Yeah.
It's, like, amazing. It makes it so hard to, like, play all these other dungeon crawls and stuff just because it's like, man, if I had a group, D&D would just trump this times a million, It'd just be so amazing to play.
Yep.
But yeah, I haven't had time for sessions and stuff like that, and I'm sure I could make an online D&D thing happen because there's tons of people that would probably be super stoked to do that sort of thing.
Yep.
But it's once again, it's just one of those time things, you know.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of things going on in life right now. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Maybe the dream is to someday is to make it happen. I'm trying to find the right time and the right age to introduce role playing to my kids.
Ooh,
you know.
Yes. Well, you could start with like kids on bikes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure like how far that stuff scales down for like age.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, like when I was like 12, I started playing Gamma World with my dad.
Yes.
And, like, it was very formative in like my gaming tastes and like how I enjoy gaming these days. I just love the thematic narrative games and games where they give you interesting decisions that you can unlock things that you didn't know were there. I don't know.
Yes.
Role playing is so amazing.
It's like the ultimate choose your own adventure is really what it is for me. Yeah, it's just amazing. But yeah, I mean, I played Gamma World. I played D&D. I played D&D since the late 70s. So but yeah. Oh, there's the Coraloo asked, do I ever drive a long ways to go on my walks for those segments? Yeah, I've driven up to an hour. I think Roy may have lost his internet again. Oh, Roy. Oh, no, there you are. You're back.
I don't know what's going on with the internet. I don't know if it's just Homestead. I literally was trying to look up on my phone, like, internet outages. And it's like, you have no internet. I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I don't have internet if I don't have internet. If I don't have
right.
So.
But yeah, so I've driven up to an hour to go do those walking segments before. So it's pretty crazy.
And where do you mostly do it? Just in like the Colorado mountains? Or
yep, Colorado mountains always.
Parks around?
Parks around. We have some local areas that are more flat, that are like wooded areas that I can walk through as well when I'm short on time. But we live right at the foothills almost, so I can get up in the mountains pretty easily. So usually it's about like a 30-minute round trip drive or somewhere that close that I can go film something. So, but I want to go
What's
like
the highest altitude you think you've done? Have you gone like way up?
Yeah, I did. I filmed at 11,000 feet. It was the Twin Sisters hike up in Rocky Mountain National Park up in that area, above Estes Park. So it was about 11, not quite 11,000. I don't think I went all the way to the top for filming, but yeah, I absolutely love doing that so much. So
I must say, Mark Streed's the highest altitude Dice Tower contributor for sure. Down here in Homestead, we're straight up sea level.
Yeah. Well, I remember when Z was at the house here, and I said, "Yeah, your room's in the basement." And he's like, "What? A basement? We don't have basements."
Yeah, man, it's been raining so much. It's like the rainy season around here, and it's just like every day it's raining.
Yes.
So, you wouldn't have a basement. You would have
a flood
pool,
right?
A pool in the bottom of your house is what you would have.
He said, "Do other people ever walk or bicycle into frame and ruin my shots?" Yes, all the time. And then they stop and want to talk to me. I'm like, yeah, it's for YouTube. Oh, really? And I say, yeah, it's for board game. They're like, board gaming? No way. And they get all, and so I end up spending like 30 minutes sometimes talking to people in the middle of trying to get something filmed. It happens a lot, actually. Well, before social distancing, anyway. And not so much anymore. That doesn't really happen. But let's see. Okay, here's one, Roy. If you had to pick one game that you had to play once a day, I guess, every day for a month, what would it be?
Every day?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I really enjoy, I know this is crazy, but I really enjoy Love Letters still. I mean, that's a super simple, super short game. And I used to play that all the time, like at lunch break at work. It's kind of funny. I got a lot of guys into my game group by bringing Love Letter to like the lunchroom at Target, and there were people that you wouldn't even think or imagine of playing like Love Letter, playing this game about passing love letters to a princess. It's just so funny to think of the guys that were actually playing that game with me. It's a lot of fun. And just because, I mean, if I have to play it every single day, I mean, it's quick.
Right. Well,
I got things to do. I got to edit Tom Bassel reviews. I got to make it happen.
Well,
I'm here to make content for you guys.
That's right. If
I had to play a game every single day, I'm going to play a short one so I can continue to make content for you guys.
It's true. But if I had my choice, I would play D&D every day because you could do this ongoing, crazy long adventure over a month. That would be amazing. It'd be so cool. So, but of course, that would be hard to have that. You'd have to prep for that like way in advance, but
the amount of prep work it would take for that
would be insane. But it would be awesome, right? Oh, it'd be so
Does
fun.
the prep work count as playing? Because then that would make it easier.
That's true, right? Here's a good one for your game. What was one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome in your game design from Woodfish?
One of the biggest challenges in my game was waiting to talk about it.
Oh,
No, I'm just...
it's true.
Knowing the design itself, I really wanted to make it something that would stand apart. I mean, Space 4X has been done a million times, and I did not want... I mean, I'm already in the industry. I don't need to like do anything to prove myself or to be more in the board game industry. If I was going to make a game, I needed it to be something that was going to stand apart. And the fact that I was like, how can I make this game that I want? It's like really fast game. It's space, but also is just different. I didn't want it to just be that. So I came up with this whole idea of this rotating board that emulates like a star system. So it feels like you're actually like in a star system and exploring this star system itself. Like many of these other 4X games are like on the galactic scale, where you're going around a galaxy and colonizing all sorts of stuff in the galaxy. This is literally all the way down to just one star system that is like the very last white dwarf star before the heat death of the universe. All the other lights have gone out, and you're trying to colonize this star system to save your basically your family and all of your generation and your genome to be able to survive just a little bit longer. So it gives everybody a little bit of motivation there, and I felt like that setting was different. I felt like the whole rotating board was different.
Yeah, well,
I felt
definitely.
I feel like completely simultaneous actions was different, because if it's not going to be different, what's the point? You know,
Right.
There's plenty of other games that are out there that are the same thing. You know, and I mean, I love those games.
Yeah.
I
Right.
adore 4X games. I mean, it's funny because the new Eclipse came in the other day, and Tom's like, "Why do you care about that? Don't you love Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea and Twilight Imperium?" And I'm like, "I love them all." you
Yes.
know? I'm a really big fan of the genre, and I mean, they are all very different, and I think that's really cool to be able to play several different ones. I just wish I had the time to play them.
Yeah.
That's kind of the problem that I'm trying to solve, is the time
The
issue.
time issue is a big deal for sure. I mean, because it's either I'm playing something I'm working on is usually what it is, right? So that's definitely...
We have to be responsible adults, right?
Yes.
It's like, oh, man.
Totally true. So now that you did the big space, galactic conquest, what other theme games would you like to make down the road? What are themes are you most excited about beyond space?
I mean, I've said it in a bunch of different things that I'd love to see more of the really cool anime-themed games or whatever. I don't think I'm the one to make them, but I'd love to see more people do that sort of stuff. I'm a basic nerd, so I really enjoy like space and fantasy and cyberpunk and all sorts of different stuff. There's so many cool things and so many amazing IPs, and I mean, there's so many people making amazing designs out there. But I don't know. I'm really trying to get this one off the ground and going. I've got tons of ideas, but one thing at a time.
Yeah. Okay, one last question before we end here. This is a really good one from James. What darling idea did you have that you had to cut from your game to make it better?
There's so many things that I cut before I even do them, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
That's
good.
Darling idea. I don't know. There at the beginning, early in the game, I kind of limited. There's all these different spaceships you can upgrade in different ways, and I had to limit how much you could upgrade the spaceships because people would never build the bigger ones. Because if you could upgrade the smaller ones too much, you would just do the small ones and upgrade them to high heavens and blast people away with that. I kind of enjoyed having like really upgraded small ships, but I had to like say, okay, you can only do one upgrade on these, two upgrades on these, three upgrades on these, just so that way it would make the balance of the game and it would work. And it worked way better afterwards. But I still kind of missed the idea of these super tiny, fast little ships flying around with just crazy amounts of guns on them.
That's amazing. I love that idea just in general.
It didn't work, you know. That's what the point of playtest is fixing these things and making sure they work with the entire design. But the idea of it was kind of fun, and it was kind of one of the things I'm like, yeah, somebody could just like put a whole bunch of things on the one ship. Well, that's all everybody ever did. So I had to like fix that, and of course make it so it's way more balanced. And it's been great. Like that sort of stuff was done forever ago.
Yeah, know? For sure, definitely. I like that. I mean, that makes me think of Mike Fitzgerald, who he always would tell me, "Okay, so you designed all this stuff. Okay, now show me the fun. Get rid of everything else, and let's start from there." And you just keep doing that. So. I love
that's one of the main things. It's like streamline, and make it so it's easy and intuitive. You know,
Indeed.
I mean, basically this game's going to come out, and it's basically me being a student of everything all these designers have said. I mean, I'm very attentive to many other board game designers in the industry. I listen to all the things, as cliche as it is to say, that Tom Vassell said in all the videos, like, hey, don't become your own publisher. Like, work through another publisher and get them to do it because they've already got all this different stuff, and like all these different ideas that all these amazing other like titans in the industry have come up with. I've been like a student of that stuff, and I'm trying to put that stuff to the test to make something amazing. And Indeed. Oh my goodness, I've shielded and talked about this game too much. No one wants to hear.
No way, it was great. Well, we're at an hour. I can't believe it's been an hour, even with you disappearing for a while. Leaving me hanging.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
I blame. It's actually not Comcast. It's AT&T's fault this time.
Oh, so. Wow. Well, that's a change. Usually it's Comcast, at least for me. Dude, thanks a lot for being here. This was fun. I'm glad we got to hang out. It's been a little while since we have, so good times. And we'll see you. When's your next chat?
I have to figure that out. I think it's supposed to be later on this week.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll figure it out.
Cool. All right. We'll keep an eye out for that. And thanks for being here. And until next time, we'll see you at the table.
See you at the table.
That's right, man. Good night, everybody.
Peace.
Thanks for being here.
Bye. Thanks.
See ya.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep.